All right.
And then you want me to? Are we ordering one of these, or do we got to rob one?
I'm asking him right now if he wants an electronic one or if he wants another ether bulb, because when Eisenhower took this out, I mean, it doesn't matter if when you spin the bulb should come out of that fitting, which is in my pocket right now. The bulb should come out of this fitting. It should slide out, and it was corroded in there. I was beating it out. I beat it to get it that far, but then I mushroomed it. So, but anyway, that was an ether capillary tube. All the ether's gone. The gauge won't work. So he's either got to put electric in, or he's got to get another gauge, which will have a tail on it. That's the capillary tube.
Yeah.
And then he'll, next time somebody wants to take the engine out, or somebody wants to check the gauge or whatever, the same thing's going to happen to him, and he's going to bust the capillary tube off, and we'll have to. So really, he needs an electronic gauge. But
I never heard him called that.
Yeah.
It's actually filled like ether gas.
Yes. Yeah.
So how does it tell the temperature?
The warmer it gets, the more the ether gas expands and goes up the capillary tube and moves the needle over.
So
the whole tube all the way to the dash?
All the way to the dash.
Oh, get rid of that.
So that right there it heats up. The molecules start going real busy and go, I'm Hulk Hogan.
It's like science class in 8th grade.
That's pretty much it. And then so anyway, the question was, my mechanic pulled the distributor cap off. As you can see, it's full of rust, and of course, rust will conduct electricity. And your rotor button is pretty well burned up. I mean, obviously it was running when it came in, but and your points probably ought to get replaced. And let's see, your lobes look like they're not rusted, but anyway, we're at a crossroads. Ooh. Your rotor doesn't fit very well. That's not movement on your shaft. That is without movement on your shaft. That is movement on your shaft right there, but I can move it this much without moving the shaft. So how do you want to time it exactly? So we need a new rotor. We either need new points or put an electronic ignition in. I'd suggest electronic. We'll clean those all out, paint the insides. You won't have any more rust problems. And of course, we need a new distributor cap. So, although it wasn't on the scope, well, actually, what was on the scope is he said check the engine out because it suddenly dies with no explanation. And that may be it right there. And the other explanation for it would be another possibility is your coil,
Which isn't installed correctly.
Yeah, but
I can fix that.
Your coil could be a it's a 6 volt, no external resistor. That's going to have to get changed for 12 volts as well.
Yeah.
No external resistor required. So I thought that your coil might be heating up. It works off of magnetism. There's an iron core in it.
Look at that. Shake it. It's a liquid-filled coil.
Yeah.
I'd get rid of that right off the bat.
Well, I got to get rid of it because it's 6 volt anyway.
Those are no good.
Either that, I got to put a ballast resistor in front of it. So anyway, those are just some things that we need to address for you. We can change the oil for you too. Oil looks good. Doesn't look like there's any water in it. So anyhow, we're on your project. That's how you can tell we're on your project. We're asking you to spend more money. No, we want you to have good, reliable operation, and these are things that are going to keep you from having good, reliable operation. That's the spend more money thing was a joke. Sorry about that.
We can add a touch-up paint job.
Yeah, we could do a touch-up paint job, and we could have your starter rebuilt. Normally, when we do all that, it's a $3,000 bill. It takes several days. We take the exhaust manifold off, which means we got the intake manifold's got to come off, carburetor, all this comes off, and we thoroughly clean it, thoroughly paint it. At the same time, we're inspecting.
It'll look like that.
And it'll look like this when we're done. Yeah. But what we also do is we have, yours would be a little less than 3,000 because we've already had your generator rebuilt. But we would also rebuild your starter, and your water pump's okay. It's a mechanical water pump, so it doesn't need rebuilt. Typically, those things pretty much last forever. We would also rebuild the carburetor within that $3,000 window, which I'd call it about a $3,500 or $2,500 window, since we've already done the generator. So I'll let you think about that, decide if you want to do that or not. And we would also rebuild the fuel pump. So $2,500. The gets dismantled, cleaned, painted. Fuel pump gets rebuilt. Carburetor gets rebuilt. Generator gets rebuilt, which has already been spent, so that would come off of that $3,000. Starter gets rebuilt. And then we do the tune-up. That's usually in addition to that. No, actually, that would be part of the $3,000 as well. So let me know if you'd, or in your case, since we already have the generator, that would be part of the $2,500 if you want to do that. All right, cool. Thanks, man. Let me know.